OuterOrange.
I have a premium chat with me here. That would be so funny.
Gestures to the camera.
Hi! We are here with a person. Da-da-da! This is
I'm a person? What? Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Oh my gosh, she's a
Oh my
person.
gosh.
We are here for the first ever interview on my channel. How do you feel about this premium, Chad?
Well, considering that this is my first appearance on OuterOrange's channel, I feel very honored. I was expecting a grand horse with like decorations and golden plated armor, but you know, a YouTube video will do just fine for my arrival.
I'll keep in mind next time. I'll get you a
Please,
horse.
please do. I would like specifically gold plated, please.
Okay, gold-plated horse. Got it.
Mhm.
So we're here with Premium Chad. Some may know you as Team Galaxy Brain. You can feel free to introduce yourself. So
yeah, so I'm Premium Chad of Team Galaxy Brain. I used to make YouTube videos because basically what happened was Premium was amazing and I made videos, and then Premium stopped being amazing and I stopped making videos, and then Overdress was amazing and I made videos again, and then Overdress stopped being amazing and I stopped making videos. But now that Premium is amazing again, I'm gonna be doing. We have a pattern here. I'm gonna start making videos again. You know me probably from the Overtrigger video where I spent 3 months putting together that stitched abomination. You might also know me from colorful Vanguardians posts where I talk about the anime. I'm glad to be here.
So speaking of like Premium and Overdress and all that stuff, what is like your background of like Cardfight Vanguard? So since we are here to talk about Cardfight Vanguard, please.
All right,
please
so
enlighten us.
here's my anime backstory, okay? So my anime backstory is one day in middle school, I was a little fart, and I got detention. And in detention, I snuck my phone in and watched and scrolled through YouTube and found this cool new show called Cardfight Vanguard. I like this Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Perhaps I'll like this Cardfight Vanguard. And I ended up loving it in detention. It was awesome. I was there for the start of it. I've been watching the anime since it came out, but I really picked up the game when your boy Chaos Breaker Dragon made his scene in Break Ride era. And I picked up the deck and played that for a little while, on the casual level because I didn't really have a locals. And then G era, I quit because I was extremely salty that they replaced Chaos with Messiah. No, I'm not kidding. That is my actual reason for leaving the game for a little bit. I was a extremely petty child. And then Chaos came back in G, and I'm like, hey, I'm back in G. And ever since then, I've been playing the premium format, and I've kind of only taken the game really seriously, like hardcore competitively, since BCS of 2019, where I did not place top 8, but I was incredibly close to top 8. And I'm very proud of myself considering I played Luard in Ichi Neo Nectar Gold's format, so pretty happy with that result. But I've been kind of working on my game, playing premium, thinking up of new ideas, just messing around on CFA until we get events back and I can finally get that competitive edge I've been waiting for in the format.
Not bad, not bad. So part of why I decided to have an interview with you specifically is because you're really big into premium, and I'm not as, familiar with premium, so I feel like if there's anyone to ask, it's like, you're one of the people to go to. How do you feel about the ban list and now, and especially since you are a Link Joker player, there is some stuff that happened in there as well with Link Joker. So feel free to
Orange, I was really happy, and then you reminded me, okay? I'm going through the mourning. I'm mourning a loved one, okay? I'm going through a serious loss here. In terms of the ban list, I will say that pretty much everything I wanted to get... I made this giant Facebook post where I said, this needs to be hit. And everything... Hey, I heard that. Everything I wanted to get hit, got hit. Everything I said, this needs a hit, got hit. Except for Bird, Jamio Congo got hit instead, which I think I'm one of the only people on the planet who liked Jamio Congo, but I see why he had to go. But I'm really happy with this list because everything I wanted to get hit got hit, and then they also hit Chaos, which is understandable because if everything else goes, like the loop decks go, New Adio goes, then what becomes the best deck? Well, probably Chaos with Zinc, but it seems that might actually not be the case, because even if Chaos had Zinc, there are a few decks in the meta right now that could have dealt with Chaos. So it makes me wonder that maybe they have some sort of V collection stuff coming that's going to replace Zinc, maybe. Some countercharge. For now, I'm dealing with Bobo, but Bushroad could easily just be like, yo, here's some new countercharge for you homies. Or V-Series Zinc is coming, and this is their discreet way of saying that.
I honestly am in agreement with you. A lot of people think that part of why they did that was because of, you know, like chaos is too strong. I actually think it's because of Clan Collection that they actually hit it. Like I'm with you on board. Like I was one of the few people that's like, I'm pretty sure it's because of V. Whatever's coming, because we got all this like, you know, block support coming. It's very possible there might be a card in there that like either could break the Zinc combo, or it could be even better, or it could replacement or something just to.
It's like really consistent Zinc, I guess.
Yeah,
like calling Zinc from drop or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just something that would have made a consistency increase, and that's probably why they hit it. Kind of like similar like when we saw the hard leg ban and the flanger ban. It was very obvious why that got banned because.
Yeah, the other thing about Zinc you need to understand, people don't understand, like even as a Chaos Breaker player, I'm sorry guys, listen, the pastor of Chaos Breaker himself is about to speak. She was the freest card in the entire game. Please find me any card in the game that says go +5. Can you find one? I can't find one that's currently legal that says go +5. Because what she does is she refunds 2 Counterblast, and I personally think that Counterblast is a resource. Like if you Counterblast 1 to 5k, you're going -1, right? Counterblast 1 to draw a card, you're breaking even. I personally think Counterblast is a resource. If you Soul Blast for Chaos equals plus, because that's more card draw you're getting, more locks you're getting. She puts herself in Soul. She goes +5.
I actually didn't know that.
She's crazy free. Like she's insane. Sorry, +4. I forgot you have to -1 because she counts herself. Chaos having the Soul is the problem here. Countercharge has never been an issue with Chaos, right? Like we can easily run Photon and cards that don't need Counterblast. We can easily, if we're desperate, we can play Bogo. But what we really needed was the Soul. And thankfully, we now have cards like the Prison to help circumvent that problem.
That's true. It does Soul Charge 3. That's interesting.
It does Soul Charge 3, which is what Zinc used to do, which is Soul Charge 3.
Not bad, not bad. Now that I think about it, yeah, that's actually a good point. So now that we're kind of getting to like the meta conversations, since you have mentioned that you've been testing a lot. So my question to you is, now that you've been playtesting, what do you think is going to be like the next 5 or the next like 3 decks that are going to be good?
I initially thought that the meta was going to be any number of the following decks. This is my, I believe it was going to be like Granblue, Pale Moon, Kagero, Narukami to some extent, Ezel, Great Nature. Any of these clans had legit competitive viability, in my opinion. But what it's starting to look like now is we're going back to 2019 format, except Gastile and Katrina are nowhere to be found. So the only deck that remains among those is Ezel. And Ezel is probably, as a result, going to be the best deck now. However, we don't have Wonder Ezel to worry about. So, there are a few things we can talk about Ezel. Ezel is a deck that, as many of you know, is a superior ride deck that plans on hitting grade 3 while you're on grade 1, and then superior striding by using Heal Guardians and Additional Angel from D-Series. That means that it's very consistent to hit Spear-X on your first stride. Now, that sounds completely insane, but it does give a lot of decks a very small advantage. You no longer have to damage starve Ezel, because they will hit Spear-X no matter what you do. So in other words, decks can actually attack, get some hand advantage, get some value, and we also have the addition of the Heal Guardians in the game. So while I think Ezel is probably best deck, I think that it's still manageable. Like, Narukami can beat Ezel pretty easily if it survives the initial rush. Pretty darn easily. I've been playing Narukami against a Ezel player I know who's very good at the game, and he just... I could be me sacking, I don't know, but Narukami has a positive win rate against Ezel. It has a negative win rate, however, against the other best deck in format, in my opinion. That's Luard. Not Luard, Overlord. Luard is another thing we'll talk about later. But Overlord is a deck that, with Stricken, it rides to 3 and swings at you 3 times with 3 crit, big number. Unless you have 2 PGs or multiple Heal Guardians, you probably aren't surviving this assault. Now, the bright side is if you do survive, Overlord's hand size is miserable. So you have the advantage of, if your deck can survive that initial rush, you get to beat the crap out of them with little resistance. So both of these decks are very powerful and very explosive and very fast. But unlike 2019, where decks like this could go unpunished for their rushes, Ezel and Overlord actually have legitimate checks and legitimate counters that can be exploited by other decks in the format, namely Luard.
Interesting. And now with the heal guards out and everything, kind of adds a little extra defense touch as well. Since you can kind of at least with Kagero, I know for a fact you can Excel and Kagero, you can kind of negate that like the extra advantage they get.
Luard is what I would like to call, and actually this is not my idea specifically. I actually have thought of this for a little bit and came to this conclusion after having a nice long conversation with Noman from WCC, as you all know is a lovely individual, and I would love to give him a big smooch. So. Hey, don't you frown at that. Don't you? We kiss the homies in this household. No, we kiss the homies in this household, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Noman, I love you.
Some action going on over here.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
I will bonk you. No looting.
I'll bonk you back. Bring it on. Bonking. Whoa.
I got two.
Okay, I got a phone. Yeah, that's a phone. Sorry, I'm done being the lewd cultured.
Oh my god,
bastard that I am.
I will. So Luard, no, but Noman and I essentially came to the conclusion that Luard is what I like to call a bouncer deck. A bouncer deck is a deck that basically gets to determine: are you allowed into the meta? Do you beat me? Do you have something over me? Because if you do, you're allowed into the meta. Question I have to ask you now as a deck is: do you have a better rush game? Do you have a better rush than Luard on grade 3? Can you survive more Fessa? Or do you have a better grade 2 game than Luard? If you can answer any of these three questions with yes, you are most likely a meta deck.
Interesting.
So Overlord and Ezel are powerful because they both can kill Luard before they even hit the Morfessa, because they don't care about grade 2 gaming. They ride up and just smash face.
Yep.
Because of this, they are good counters to Luard, and as a result, are meta. Anything that loses to Luard probably isn't meta. But I will say, people who were saying like, oh, there's no meta now, everything is fair, is like, are you, bruh, have you played a competitive card game in your life? What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know about that. There's always going to be a top deck. Like that's why a lot of stuff, like whatever, speaking of this conversation, a lot of stuff like ticks me about this thing is like there was always someone upset about whatever tier 1 is, and it's like there's always going to be a tier 1. It's just how it is. Like there's no way that there's going to be this perfect world where you're always going to have like, oh, every deck has a fighting chance at exactly the same equilibrium. This isn't economics. It doesn't work like that here. There's always going to be some deck that has some kind of advantage over the rest of the decks. So rather it's a small advantage or a large advantage, it's always going to be a thing. But the thing is like closing that gap as much as possible so that way that other decks can have a chance to compete, which is like what we were having an issue with in 2020 and 2021, that we weren't seeing that. The gap was relatively large. It's like, can you multi-attack like 100 times and put someone 0 to 6? Oh, you can't? Well, I can, so bye-bye, you're dead. So figure out how to fight it or join the squad and play it. I mean, those are your options. So
I mean, I've been I don't like Ezel. Ezel's really annoying. It's high rolly. It doesn't take much skill to play, in my opinion. But you know what? It's better than getting looped off, so I'm fine dealing with it. Plus, back in Ezel format, I was rocking Nubatama and having a grand old time. So if I was rocking Nubatama back then, oh wait, I lost Jamio Congo. Shit, man. Dang it! I lost Jamio Congo.
Just play Eugene.
Just play.
Did you hear something?
So before we got on camera, we were joking about how I could possibly just say nothing this whole interview. I think I'm gonna start that now that you've mentioned Eugene.
It's like, oh, how are you today? Silence.
Silence.
How do you feel about Zazan? Silence.
That's all. That is my answer on how do you feel about the Zazan. Complete silence. Like no.
No, you gotta be like. Freedom. Exactly.
And this is something with Premium specifically, because like Premium is the competitive format, in my opinion. It's the most interactive. It's got the biggest card pool, most deck building possibilities, and all the best players think that. All the best players prefer the Premium format. I should not say that they are Premium supremacists, because that's just not true. Yeah. They still play V, they still play D, but they would rather play Premium if they could. As a result, I think it is the most competitive format. Now, because it's the most competitive format, that means people are more likely to want to win. So they're going to take the best decks to events. Most of the time. There are, of course, things like the guy who won Worlds against Golds with Mega Colony because he made a really good meta call, and those are obviously really fun when they happen. But there's a lot of people being really upset that we have a meta of 2 decks. But there's still a tier 2 that can fight these 2 decks. Like, Chaos is pretty good against some of these decks. Like, I had a pretty positive win rate against Overlord today when I was playing Chaos, because I figured out that you could play the grade 1 Starvader Perfect Guard and search it off of Craving Claw. That's pretty cool.
I was gonna say, you know, we have a lot of new cards coming between Dress and V Premium. Like, we have, especially V Premium. V Premium's come out with all these sets, so it's very possible that even though the meta now is, like, you know, specifically towards, like, Ezel and Kaguru, Gold Paladins and Kaguru, it's very possible that, like, in a couple months that could drastically change. It probably won't change by the time Rumble comes around, but at least for Springfest, I'm almost positive we're going to see a completely brand new meta. And we
will definitely. If Mori continues this ban list, like he said, he will update the ban list as regularly as he has to, which means. As long he doesn't have to go as nuclear as he did this time. Oh dear God, there's only like 2 cards I want banned at the current moment. Like maybe Spear-X and that's it. But that's about it in terms of. So it's the stride that allows Gold Paladin to stride while you're on.
Right. The one that if you call 2 cards, you just instantly go into stride with the Counter Blast, if I'm not mistaken.
It is the only remnant of that triangle meta left. So like, if we're taking out the other 2 decks, I think it seems fair to take out that card too. Also, because it's the only reason that it's rushing as hard as it is onto grade 1.
I think that card wasn't as terrible until we had the Overdressed Angel come out, and I think that's what kind of amplified it a little bit. Like, the deck, I agree that it was already kind of, like, a little degenerate.
If Mori uses the ban list as a way to revitalize the format, because we're no longer going to get big sets where a frickload of cards come in for one clan. Like, we're getting 3 cards per clan every 6 months, I believe the schedule is.
Yeah, something like that, except for this new stuff that they're bringing out, since they are
right.
I think this upcoming year will be a little different, but normally, it's twice a year we get support.
Yeah, so like the card pool is not going to be revitalized as often, especially since Overdressed cards only 1 or 2 per set see play. And while I'm okay with that because it's an Eternal format, and I've played other card games like Magic the Gathering where the modern format, which is one of their Eternal formats, there was a point where it didn't change all that often except for like 1 or 2 cards, and that was still enough to revitalize the format. But Vanguard unfortunately does not have as generic a card pool as Magic does. It's got 24 unmixable attributes. And because of this, the only way to really revitalize the format is a ban list. But I don't think Mori should be banning things as every chance he gets. But it would be nice if every chance he has to make a ban list, like every 5 months or 4 months, whatever you want to say, he uses that opportunity to spice up the format. Maybe unban some things. Maybe, I don't know, put Zinc back in the format. Totally not biased.
Get back 7 Cs.
Bring back 7 Cs. I don't know. Like, maybe he could do some crazy crap to the format. Like, he could bring back Ellie to see what happened. I'm not even kidding. He could see what happens. Now that we have the premium format, a lot of V-Series cards are actually really interesting.
Yeah.
And now that the loop decks are gone, people are able to express their creativity and see just what kind of crazy crap they can pull off using this 10 years of Vanguard that we have access to. Like, even just Night Rose, like pure Night Rose with a G zone is fun as heck.
Yeah.
Because Obadiah lets you play all sorts of one-ups.
And
even
Bounty.
I love Bad Bounty. Name a clan for me. Name a clan for me. That isn't Gramblue.
That isn't great. Off the top of my head, Dimension Police.
Dimension Police. Even D Police, like all the V stuff with just a G zone and Gallop, is not necessarily skillful or big brain. But have you ever swung with an 80k 3 crit Gallop? have you ever done that? It's so fun. I would like for you to imagine for a minute, okay? Imagine that you are Shrek. Okay? You are Shrek. And you have Thor's hammer, except it's multiplied by like 5 times in size, okay? It's huge. And while you're swinging that hammer, Space Jam is playing in the background. That's what playing Gallop is like.
So now that we're bringing up, V Premium and Premium, I have a question kind of for you. And a lot of people have been kind of asking this, so I like to get as many responses as possible.
Of course, yeah.
So say you're like a new player and all that stuff. How would you advise people try Premium out? Like, if you were to if you would try to get them into something, how would you push them to get to Premium?
So there are 2 answers to this. There's what I normally do and what I should do. Because what I normally do, no, trust me, I know that sounds like a bad thing. Like, okay, so what I normally do is I take them to a basement and I tie them to a chair.
I'm out of here.
I'm leaving. Bye. What I normally do is I sit them down. And I just play Premium with them from the start. And what I normally did back in G era was I sat down and I said, "We're gonna play without card effects. I want to teach you the mechanics. All our cards are vanillas." And they'd say, okay, so we play with vanilla card effects. Every single one of our cards are vanilla, even the strides. The strides have no effects.
Yep.
It's just teaching them how gifts work, teaching them how strides work, teaching them how this mechanic works. Nothing too complex. I'm not going to whip out Overlord and use Legion yet. We're just showing them the mechanics. But then once I do that, I say, okay, would you like to try playing a game now, or would you like to see how a game is played to perhaps get a little feel of it? And then they'll answer A or B. Then I'll do that with them, and they'll be like, either, wow, this was terrible, which has only ever happened like 0 times, or they'll be like, wow, that was really cool to watch. I want to try and play again. They'll lose most of the time because Premium's a skill-based format, but a lot of them would be, most people are cool with losing if there was something they could have done about it.
Yeah.
So what I would do afterwards, I'd say, here's a few misplays you made, but that just shows you how skillful this format is. And they'll go, oh, that's so cool! Learn that, and then game 2, they will pull off the thing I told them to do, and they'll feel so happy that they did it. But what I should do is I should say, let's play Overdress. I'm gonna be real with you. If you want to learn the fundamentals, we should play Overdress. However, the ride deck not being a thing in Premium, like if the question, if I'm teaching someone Vanguard, it's Overdress. But if someone wants to get into Premium, I would just show them Premium, honestly. The biggest issue I will say Premium has in terms of getting a new player in, though, is the price wall. And this is the one thing I want to discuss right now. And I actually wanted to discuss the price wall right now, because we are seeing right now one of the most monumental buyout sessions in this game's history, I dare to say. Like, Crystal Lusters are $40. That is a card from a set from a year ago that everybody should have.
Yep. Even Mega Trick is going. Everything's going up.
Everything is going up. Dogdas are $10.
Yeah.
Dogdas are like $10 now.
And there's so many buyouts too. Like there's some cards that just you can't find anymore. They're just not.
Magical Kaliko's a $15 card. That's a common. Yep. Momo's expensive.
Yeah, she went up to 15. I was just talking about on the podcast last night about this actually, about that being a thing. So.
Oh yeah, shout out to my boys at Nexus at Night, by the way. Love my homies at Nexus at Night, by the way.
There you go. Nice shout out, guys. Thank you.
We're seeing such a monumental buyout of everything in the game. And so, like, I tweeted, actually. Maury didn't respond, which is fair, because, you know, Maury's a very busy man. But I said, Maury, have you considered extra print runs of Premium Collections 2019 and 2020? Because these are full of staple cards that every player is going to kind of need. Yeah. Revival Selection was cool and all, but there are a lot of missing like King of Knights Alfred, dude? Really?
I mean, that was more probably of a nostalgia pick than anything else.
Yeah, I guess.
It wasn't terrible. I honestly think, because they were more focusing on like certain units and then just throwing in some extra stuff for the lulz.
Yeah.
But the issue is that, obviously, I don't think they were aware that 2019 and 2020 was going to have these kind of buyouts. I think, honestly, I think we probably will see another Revival collection like this again, just because of
we need to.
I think it's going to be brought up. I honestly. I know some people are getting kind of worried, but I'm almost like, I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that probably sometime next year, like towards the end of next year, probably going to be seeing, all right, guys, clearly this format is starting to come back, you know, with Japan bring it back to, like, because of all the volume that it's amplifying, I'm almost positive they're probably going to do another reprint set. So yeah, that's just personal. Maybe I'm just a positive person, but I can see them making this decision.
Oh no, I think they should. They're going to do reprint. Now, here's an idea that me and Solemn actually thought of. I DM'd that we were DMing each other, laughing at someone being like, "Premium set." Bushiroad said they hate Premium. My uncle who works at Bushiroad said that Premium is dead. By the way,
Premium's
I love that, dude. I love that. But me and Solemn were laughing, and then we started like actually having some like legitimate conversation. And I brought up the idea of, what if Premium Collection was formatted like V Collection?
Oh, that would be perfect.
Now, hear me out. Like it's like 4 reprints, 3 new cards for every clan. Maybe a Stride, a G-Guard, and like a main deck card.
Yeah.
So what happens now is, instead of just getting, oh, here's your yearly supply of new Strides, everybody. Here's new Strides. Please take your new Strides and new critical triggers for use. You now have extremely open card space, because you have 3 slots to fill there, my guy. Yeah. So you have to put some main deck cards in there, maybe. Like, I would love to see a rework of Striders. Like, cards that activate skills when you stride on something. Maybe you could make some overdressed nation stride cards, like a Dark States one that says activate Final Rush or something. You could play around with new G guards And then for the last 4 slots of your pack, because again, one pack equals all the cards in this, one box equals a copy of every card in the set. Yep. Your last 4 slots could be 4 very important reprints for the premium format. Because you very clearly know, Bushy, what your topping decks are using. I've seen it in V Collection. I know where you're going with this, guys. You put in reprints there that everybody needs. If they did this, the premium formats marketplace would be amazing. It'd be awesome. But I also wouldn't be down for a modern Masters or modern, modern Masters style set in Magic, where they like take a bunch of cards from the modern format and just say, have them. Here you go. Like freaking like 10 reprints per clan or something. It's just this big set where you reprint everything in the game that needs a reprint. That's what Modern Masters would do. Either of these are completely viable options, but the fact remains that we need more revival collections if this format is going to prosper. Because as much as I love this format and I like cards having value, if we want new people in, we gotta do something about the paywall.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with that idea. I think maybe like a yearly set just to have a reprint, because like honestly, I think that 2 things that we need, like aside from the reprint, there's 2 more things. We need new G guards, 100%. There are some clans that just really need them. It would be nice to see new G guards with some kind of new skills that just like do something very unique to like this set, and then obviously some more strides just to kind of add to that card pool, just to make things even more fun, and then maybe different finishers, maybe because we have a lot of early game stuff. It would be interesting to see other finishers that's not just CR.
Bring back Generation Break on strides. Bring back Generation Break on strides.
It's possible. I think that would be really cool. Just other win cons that would make it would make deck building more interesting. Now that we have all these cards in V Premium Overdress, we can actually add more win cons on top of that. So it would be interesting to see, like, that way you really don't know what your opponent's going to go into. You'd be like, oh, maybe they're going to Dragon me, or maybe they're going to go into this weird win con. You know, they could there's more options, and then like obviously like maybe some new trigger options would be cool too, and then 100% like reprints would be like the way to go. Like I think having a set that has 1 Stride, 1 G Guard, maybe a splash of some reprints of like between V Premium, a staple, or some kind of premium thing, and just throw it in our face and be like, here you go. Here's your reprint of Bezel. Here's your reprints of like some other cards, and also here's a new Stride and a new G Guard. Have fun. You know, like I think that would just really add like to the format a lot, and hopefully we never go back to the vanilla stuff ever again. Like we just stay there, keep that untouched.
I would love to see more Cray Elemental Strides and G Guards, by the way. I would love to see that. By the way, I would love to see cute generic cards that have that have implications in certain clans and none in other clans. I would love cute little stuff like that. If they learn and remember Zazan, Cyclonid, and all this crap for the future, I legitimately think that they could make another pack. Like they could add another pack, the Cray Elemental pack, in a V collection style set. Like here are the 25 clans.
I think it actually wouldn't be bad, because then you could throw in some old stuff too. Like they could again reprint a Xerox Dragon if they want to. They could reprint Tier. They could reprint some other vanillas along with a new potential unit. You know, so they could just kind of sprinkle it in.
Yeah, so. I actually want to say the Xerox Dragon reprints we've been getting for Revival Collection are the best reprints in the game, and here's why. They're common, which means that the original versions are still retaining value.
Yep.
So I think if they're doing any reprints for premium card, like Bushiroad, you can reprint whatever you want. And here's how you make people not angry. Make them commons. Yep. Normal people won't care.
Yep.
I'm going to be real. I don't care if I have to buy common insert card name here. I don't care. I just want to play the game. Mm-hmm. So people are completely fine with original cards retaining value. So reprints, just reprint whatever you want, Bushy. The original card will still retain value. In fact, its value might even go up.
Do you have any closing thoughts or anything you want to bring up?
Any closing thoughts? I want to say right now that Premium is, I'm going to say it is the best format. It's one of the best states it's ever been. For a long time. I'm in love with this game again. This has been my religion. I have not slept in 7 days. Please send help. I'm having insomnia episodes. Oh God, no. I can't. I keep trying to chug melatonin, but my brain wants that serotonin. Please, I need Vanguard. I need it desperately. I need it. It's so good. Premium is definitely in a really good spot right now, and I'm really glad that Maury finally put his foot down and said, no more of that. Shame on you guys. Play a good new format. Orange, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. Consider this my revival into YouTube, I suppose.
I was gonna also say, is there any place for listeners that are out there, any place you want them to find you, or any platforms?
I have a Twitter where I post random art I draw, and I also rant angrily about Vanguard things. You can find me there at TySenseiSama. You can find me on YouTube at Team Galaxy Brain, where I have a few videos of the future. I'm making a video roasting the crap out of a new card game called Build Divide, and then a video featuring the history of Buddy Fight, which is something that people can learn a little thing or two about Buddy Fight for those potential game designers out there. And I have an upcoming series called So You Want to Design a Trading Card Game, where I cover interesting concepts that other trading card games have done, not just Vanguard, and hopefully any of you people out there who are interested in how our favorite trading card games function can look forward to stuff like that. But they're all very high edited, so it's going to be a little time on that. So in the meantime, subscribe and wait for those masterpieces to come out.
Awesome. And as he said, you guys can find him and all this stuff, and it will be in the description below. So
will it, Orange?
That's how this works, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Does not put it in. No, I'll be putting
accidentally
it in.
links your own channel.
Wait, yeah, I link my channel and my Twitch and my Twitter.
Oh yeah, subscribe to me, suckers.
Fun fact, it's already up there down below anyway, so it's not. I just do nothing. We are done. This is the first ever interview. It is done now, and thank you Ty for joining in with us and having a good time and all that fun stuff. But we're gonna leave now. Till next time, peace out. Das vidanya, guys. Thank you.
Matane. Awkward waving continues. These things are sweating up. That's disgusting.
Why are you wearing glasses anyway?
Listen. Okay, there's a very difference between virgin Ty, cool Ty.
What? What?
Very clear difference, Orange. I don't know about you.
That's a fun blooper. I didn't hit stop yet.
You have full permission to put that in the video. That's amazing.
Yes. I forgot to hit stop. Let me hit stop.
Yes, I got footage of Ty calling himself a virgin. Yes.